Hey guys, so maybe you're clicking this video because you're tired of being poor in artale and you want to start making some money. Well, not too long ago, I was just like you and I only had 75,000 mesos to my name. I could barely afford potions and man, it was awful. But with a couple of these tips and tricks, I was able to turn that overnight into 3 mil. Honestly, it sounds like I'm trying to sell you on something right now, but I'm not. I'm literally just trying to provide like the best tips so people can actually like afford their potions and have more fun playing the game. So if you want to hear about that, stick around and we'll get right into it. So I've got a list of 4 different things here that you can do besides just literally buying world coin and selling it. Things that you can do to improve how many mesos you're earning in artale. So let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is kind of boring, but trust me, it is very important and vital to basically not being broke all the time. Now, grinding is definitely one of the best ways to make money in artale. But this can be really hard to do if you're constantly spending tons of money on potions and using too much MP and stuff. So the first thing we gotta do is optimize your grind. And what I mean by this is basically not spending too many potions when you grind and optimizing how many potions you're spending. This is super important at lower levels because you don't have that many mesos and you're probably not earning that much when you grind. So it's really important to make sure that you make the most of the potions you do have. Now, the way you do this is kind of simple, but it takes a little bit of getting used to, I think. Basically, just keep in mind that like every time you take damage, you have to heal that damage with an HP potion, right? So the more damage you take, the more mesos you're losing. And the same is also true for the spells that you cast or skills that you use that use MP. Every bit of MP you use, you have to pay for to get back. So basically, you want to kind of minimize the amount of skills that you're using, but also make sure you're using enough to grind properly. If you're a warrior, in the early levels this can be done by opting to use basic attacks instead of using skills, at least probably to like level 15 to 20. And if you're a mage, one thing to keep in mind is don't ever use magic guard. I know it sounds really weird, it took me a while to understand this as well, but magic guard just really isn't needed unless you're fighting a boss or something that's going to like basically one-shot you or get close to that. If you can fight a monster and like never have it take damage in your MP and always just heal with HP, you're going to be saving a lot of money right from the get-go. One thing that's also really important to do is to only buy potions that have a low cost. And what I mean by this is if you actually pay attention to the cost of the potions that you're buying, some of the ones that heal more HP or MP actually cost more, like ratio-wise, for what you're getting than if you bought something that heals less HP or MP. Like for example, mana elixirs cost more meso, more meso per point of MP than like blue potions, for example. Now it's kind of annoying to spam blue potions, but it is cost effective, and especially in the lower levels it shouldn't be too bad. And the same is also true for HP. White potions and stuff are nice and they're tempting to buy, but if you stick to something like orange potions or red potions, you're typically paying less per point of HP than if you buy something that heals more. So just keep that in mind. And honestly, when I was grinding, this might sound silly, but I actually used blue potions up until like the mid 50s. Eventually I realized I could have just been using Sundays, which have the same MP to meso ratio as blue potions, but I didn't realize that, so I guess joke's on me. But yeah, so it's probably important to stick with the small potions that have good cost ratios until your HP or MP can, has enough room to heal something that maybe heals a lot but has a good ratio. Like for example, you wouldn't want to use Sundays if your max MP is only 500 or 1000 because, well, they heal 2000 MP, right? So you'd be wasting money at that point. So anyway, I hope that long explanation makes sense, but yeah, optimize your grind and you won't regret it. Alright, so enough with saving money. Let's talk about a way to actually earn some money. One really nice way to earn money if you're in the right level range is PQs. Doing PQs typically doesn't cost very many potions because, I guess it depends on what you're doing in the PQ and how much damage you're taking, but typically grinding will cost more potions, right? So you can minimize potion costs by doing PQs while also still getting pretty good EXP for your time. And PQs can actually really earn you some money with their good end rewards. For example, KPQ can give you the chance at an overall armor for dex 10% scroll, which typically sells right now for around 300 to 400k. And it can also give you some earrings and equips that you can sell in the NPC store or just use yourself. And it can also give you potions, I'm pretty sure, which is just always nice to have. And as for LPQ is also good just for the same reasons. It'll probably cost even less potions than KPQ, and yeah, you can get some really nice scroll rewards from LPQ. I've gotten things like Claw for attack 60% and Gloves for attack 100%, both of which sell for around 600 to 700k right now at the time of making this video. So needless to say, even though LPQ can take a little bit of time, it does give really good EXP, especially if you're in like the level range of 35 to 45, I'd say. And yeah, you can get some really nice rewards from it. And after doing some PQs and leveling up, you might find that when you go back to grinding, you'll have an easier time actually making a profit and making some MESO. So if you're having a hard time making MESO and you're always just like at a loss with potions, maybe do some PQs if you're in a good level range to do that, and then come back later and maybe you'll be able to actually make some money. Alright, now the next thing that I have for making lots of money, and this one's probably the most effective, but it is limited in terms of how much you can do it. And yeah, as you could probably guess, this is quests. Quests are super good at making you money. This is how I made a lot of my early money when I was around the level like, 35 to 45 range. Like I said, turned about 75k into like 3 mil literally in the course of about 5 hours of just playing and doing quests. And yeah, I have a whole video, actually I have 2 videos on this now that you can watch that just show you all the best quests that you can do to yeah, make some money and get some EXP if you want that too, but most of them focus on like money and quests that will give good like scroll rewards and MESO rewards. So yeah, go and check those videos out. I will link them in the description so you guys will have an easier time finding them. And yeah, I promise you won't regret it because you'll probably get filthy rich if you just do all those quests. Alright, and the last thing I have for how to make money in Artale is literally just like farming items for other people to do quests. If you're gonna do quests, you'll find that a lot of the stuff that you go to find is either kind of a pain to get, or maybe you checked the auction house already and you'll see that some of the prices for these things are actually pretty high. Like for example, Sapphire Ore, you need it for a quest that gives a really solid overall scroll. So a lot of people need those because you need 50 Sapphire Ore for it. So each one right now is going for around 10 to 12,000 MESO. So if you just farm, like even if you're like a low level, you could farm mobs that drop Sapphire Ore and then sell it on the auction house for probably some really easy profit. Because I know like slimes drop Sapphire Ore, so you could even just make a good profit killing slimes. Some of the other things that you could farm that I've noticed that I've noted here that are particularly good that people need for quests are diamond ore, because you need that for the sauna robe quest, coconuts, because you need those for the Florida Beach quest, and you also need that for the Bone Helm quest. Slime bubbles, because those are just a pretty common thing people need for quests, and I've noticed, I'm not really sure if they go for this anymore, but earlier they were going for like 4 to 5k per slime bubble. And if you're a higher level, some stuff that you can farm that people need for quests is the Nepenthe honey. This has a really low drop rate, but if you're just, if you don't know what to kill, you can kill some Nepenthes and hope you get it. It's worth like over 1.5 mil right now because people need it for the Bone Helm quest, and it's pretty rare. I happened to get it pretty quickly when I was doing my Bone Helm quest, but I'm not really sure if it's really common to get that quickly, but hey, you could farm it. And some other ones you could farm if you're a higher level are you can farm Malady's Experimental Frog. This is needed for the Jane the Alchemist quest, which gives a glove for attack scroll. And I know these in the auction house right now are selling for at least 300 mesos each. I think it was like 330 or 350. And one other thing that you can farm is you can farm Yeti horns, because I went to go do the Scotter's new fur coat quest that gives the overall armor for int scroll potentially, and I noticed on the auction house there are no Yeti horns, so I bet you could probably go and sell those on the auction house for a fair bit, but you would need to be like level like 60 or so to kill Yetis consistently, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I think that just goes to show there's a lot of stuff that you can farm that people will need for quests, so yeah, if you don't know what else to do, it could be a good use of your time if you want to make some MESO. Alright, so that was going to be the entire video right there, but as I'm editing it right now, I actually just thought of 2 new ideas for how to make money in Artale. The first one is you can literally just farm bosses. Like you can kill Mano, you can kill Stumpy, and you can kill like things like Mush Mom, and if you're high enough level, even stuff like the Balrogs. These bosses, they give really good drops, so you could sell those for money, but also one of the main reasons why you'd want to farm them is because in Artale, bosses drop MESO bags. Depending on the difficulty of the boss, they'll drop either bronze MESO bags, silver MESO bags, or gold MESO bags, with the bronze ones giving anywhere from 1 to 10k MESOs, the silver ones giving anywhere from 10 to 50k MESOs, and gold bags giving anywhere from 50k to 120k mesos. So as you can imagine, this can be pretty good, and I've seen people just literally just like farm these bags over and over again and make quite literally millions of meso with enough dedication. So yeah, that could be a good thing to do as well. Okay, and the actual last thing I want to talk about in this video is optimizing potions even further. So earlier in the video, I talked about how you can optimize your potions to get the most HP or MP for each meso that you spend with each potion type that you can buy. But one thing you can also do even further than that is buy your potions at the right places. And I almost forgot to talk about this, but this is really important, and I do this a lot actually. So for example, if you go to Illenia, you'll find that they have cheaper MP potions than the rest of Victoria Island. I'm pretty sure it's cheaper than any other shop in Victoria Island for MP potions. So if you're going to buy MP potions and you're in Victoria, make sure to get them from Illenia. And one other important thing is if you go to Ludi, you'll find that pretty much every single potion has a discount compared to its Victoria Island prices. I guess this is because you can buy like the pills or whatever, so the normal ones are discounted. But in Artale, you really don't have to worry about item count because your item stacks can go up to like 3,000, I think, for used items. So yeah, you don't really have to worry about item count, so you can just buy as many normal potions as you want. And as you can see here, you can get some really solid discounts on these potions and save a lot of money. So if you can, I'd go to places like this to buy your potions. So yeah, that's all the little tips and tricks that I have. If you guys have any other suggestions for people, or me, because I could always use some more meso, you know, feel free to leave that in the comments. I'll be reading all the comments as usual, and yeah, let's just like share some knowledge with each other, you know, and we can all be rich together, right? Surely. But yeah, no, have fun mapling and go get that meso.